Isolation is the way you'll get better. You need to isolate to see who you are. I've learned that when I've isolated from people, I got to see who Fable is. Before, I didn't know anything about isolation. All I know about is being with people and trying to disguise my real problems. But I had to figure out isolating the hard way. Through my previous video that you guys watched, I had to isolate. That video was about me smoking weed. I had to isolate myself for me to get myself out of that. And that was the hard way, but it helped me. During isolation, you feel loneliness, you feel unhappy, you feel like no one cares, you feel like there's nobody supporting you. But there's people who are. They may not be speaking to you, but there's some people who aren't, you know? I feel like isolation put all your problems in a bunch, meaning that you'll see majority, if not all your problems when you're isolating. You'll recognize what's really going on around you. During isolation, I cut off people, I cut off communicating with people, I cut off communicating with people that caused me to do the bad things that I wasn't supposed to be doing. I read my Bible more. I really started reading my Bible when I was isolating because I had to gain a relationship with God. Even though my relationship isn't as strong, that started it. I never really read my Bible. I always was like, I wanted to read my Bible, but I was never into it. But I had to wait to get into something to be able to understand why it's significant to read the Bible. I never took anything like spiritually that serious, to be honest, until I see things for myself, until I experience things for myself. Isolating isn't so bad, you know. It actually makes you want to become better because you see everything that you have to fix. Isolating do cause people to become mad or people to become upset at you because you're not talking to them, and they feel as though that you need to talk to them, or they feel as though you aren't talking to them and that's disrespectful or whatever. But I had to do what was best for me, and isolating it still is tough, you know. It's kind of tough because you're isolating yourself from things you did, not just people, from things you did. You're removing yourself from that. Isolating is very boring, man. It's really boring. Like, that's the side of it. It's really boring. Like, you have nobody you're talking to. It's just you, yourself, and your problems just in one room. That's how I took it. And I want to go back more into isolation mode. I know I'm still kind of isolated, but I'm not that isolated as I was before, you know? Isolation does make you feel like angry too. Like it's a phase. It's more like a phase because during isolation, it's that point where you're like, damn, I'm lonely and I really have nobody like to talk to, and it's just me, myself, and I. But then the benefit with isolation is gaining more info. You know, during isolation, like I said, during isolation, I got to know more knowledge about God, more knowledge about spirituality. You know, I gained that knowledge through isolation. Through isolation, I had to figure out what I like. You know, I got to learn things about me. You know, I was in New York like a couple months ago. Like, I think it was probably months or a year ago. And I went to Central Park in Manhattan, and I just sat there and chilled. Sat there, think about life, and enjoyed like everything, like every single bit of that moment. And that's something that I normally wouldn't do. Like, I really enjoyed just sitting in Central Park. It was just me, myself, and I. That's it. And God. Just sitting at Central Park, looking at people talk, looking at people conversate, thinking about, you know, when I used to live there. Because, you know, back when I went, I didn't live there anymore. So I was just thinking about everything, like how my whole New York lifestyle was, and the entertaining and the fun parts of it, and thinking about how things changed, and just seeing people bond with their family, all those type of things. And in order for me to do that, I had to isolate. You know, I was walking around 59th Street, Lexington Avenue, just walking around, seeing people, seeing the different types of, you know, economies, like seeing like rich people, like all those type of things I was seeing, you know. I got to sit there and really think about life. And isolating it had to take that for me to do that, you know. I was just relaxing and chilling, and that even though I had so much best moments in my life, that was one of my best personal moments. Because I just got to sit and be by myself. Nothing's bothering me in my ears. You know? Nowadays I still have some things that now, after I got like a little bit out of isolation mode, like I'm not 100% out of it, but since I got like more unisolated, it's like it's starting to ring back in my ear. Like so much things are just starting to like come back. Like when I mean come back, I mean as people are talking to me, and it's not that I don't like talking to people or anything, but I was more peaceful when I was 100% isolated, if you get what I'm saying. So now that I'm slowly getting back into not being isolated, I feel like, so much going on. That's why I really want to get back into isolation. But isolating, it isn't bad. Like, a lot of people like, you need to communicate with people and you need to talk to people. That's cool and all. I love to talk to people too. But then when I'm not right, when I need things to be fixed within me, and I have a lot to be fixed within me, then that's why I'm like, we can communicate another time. But me, I'm gonna focus on me. I'm gonna isolate myself. I'm gonna remove myself from problems, situations. Isolating is good. Now, don't feel that you're lonely, because you're really not lonely. It's gonna feel like that. It's gonna feel that you have no one. It's gonna feel like you're alone, that you're stuck in your room and you can't do anything. But God's with you through every step. Every single step, God is with you. God changed me. And trust me, it's still a struggle within me. It's still a struggle for me to read my Bible. It's still a struggle. I've been consistent lately, but it's still a struggle, Me being by myself was good for other people as well. I'm removing myself and letting people see themselves. Me removing myself from them, I'm isolating myself from them, but they're also getting to know more about them from me isolating. If I'm with that person all the time, they don't really get to see them. It's hard to explain. If you get what I'm trying to say, let me know in the comments below. But be by yourself, man. Sometimes you need to be by yourself. Sometimes you need to see what you need to do, what God wants you to do. Sometimes you need to learn how to be comfortable with yourself, learn how to be on dates with yourself, learn how to go on dates with yourself, learn how to have fun with yourself, watch movies, watch shows, or learn how to go outside and be able to sit somewhere without actually having to think about people, without actually having to think about communicating with someone. That's still struggle with that. Sometimes like I would communicate with people, but then in my head I'm like, why did I just say that? Why did I just speak to that person right now? Like, but it's all in my mind because I'm thinking in isolation mode. Like, I shouldn't be speaking to anybody at all. But that's why I kind of mess up a little bit. I feel like if I'm isolated, I shouldn't speak to anybody at all, like communicating wise, like face to face. But I learned that, there's nothing wrong with talking to people, but it's a great thing, man. It's a great thing. I haven't isolated myself out of all, like, this, like, it took last year. It literally took my junior year for me to isolate myself. I'm gonna keep it 100. It took my junior year for me to isolate myself, but it's good I'm starting early, man. I learned so much in high school, like, it's crazy. But I had to do that from being in my room, being here in my room, just with all my thoughts. Even sometimes at night, it bothered me a little bit that all my thoughts, I'm in the dark, it's all my thoughts is just running. But that's good, because I'm recognizing it. I don't want to disguise it. I don't want to act like I'm unaware when I'm really aware of what's really in my mind. So, look, man, if you need to remove yourself from people, if you need to put yourself and your problems first, do that. A lot of people may feel like, why are you not talking to me anymore? Or why are you not communicating with me no more? It's nothing against that person. And even if it's something against that person, who comes first? You. So if you gotta isolate yourself, do what you gotta do. Because it's gonna make you better. People don't care about your problems. So why would you care about how they feel when you're trying to remove your problems? Get what I'm saying? So other than that, man, stay motivated. I love y'all, and we're gonna keep running up. Cause you know what? I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping. I'm never stopping. Cause God is with me and God is with you. I love y'all, man.